Welcome, beautiful soul family. It's Annette, aka Shorty Love. Today I will be delivering a light language transmission for PTSD, which is post-traumatic stress disorder, and CPTSD, which is complex post-traumatic stress disorder. And we'll get into a little bit of detail about what these two trauma responses are and these disorders, as they have been labeled, are. As with all things, I feel that CPTSD and PTSD are labels that we give to the emotions, the cognitive functions, the behavioral patterns, the mental thought forms and patterns that stem from any type of experiences that we've had that have been stored in our body, that have been internalized and crystallized in our body in some form, and therefore continue to repeat themselves as patterns and habits of behavior, as programs and conditions, as ways of being, in order to get our attention so that we can heal from these old and outdated, in most cases, emotions and behaviors, so that we can heal from the underlying core wound of what it was that caused this stress, caused this disorder, and caused this trauma in the first place. So I always like to focus on empowering ourselves, and rather than identifying ourselves with these lower vibrational energies and these labels of, I have this or I have that, it's much healthier for us to reframe our mind into a positive mindset and say, I am a healer. I have the ability to conquer and overcome all obstacles and challenges. I am able to become a better version of myself. I have the capability to improve every day. I am improving now. So begin to focus on what you can do in this present moment to start to reframe the current thoughts you may have around labels that you may have been given or diagnosed with by others or by the world around you and outside of you. You have the power and you hold the key to unlock your divine blueprint and master manifest your destiny. So when we give these keys to others and allow the world around us to tell us what we are and to foist upon us what they believe about us, it means that we don't believe in ourselves or have faith and trust in ourselves enough to know that we can overcome anything and that we can always improve, we can become better, we can overcome these obstacles, and we can heal from these traumas, we can heal from these wounds, we can relieve ourselves of this stress, we can find healthy alternatives, healthy ways in which we can begin to implement certain tools, resources, practices, and procedures in our day-to-day reality that are going to assist us in maintaining a balanced, aligned state of being, into bringing equilibrium in the areas where we have felt disorderly and dysfunctional, in bringing a sense of centeredness and peace into those areas that have felt messy, that have felt misaligned, that have felt distorted or disturbed in any way, shape, or form. So, post-traumatic stress disorder, according to research, is often associated when the traumatic event occurs once. It is a single event that occurs and it creates deep trauma within a person, whereas CPTSD, complex post-traumatic stress disorder, is often associated with repeated trauma. So it occurs numerous times and it happens over and over and over again. And that's why they've associated it with the word complex. And there are certain events that can lead to PTSD, such as having a major accident, a serious collision, a sexual assault or rape, a traumatic childbirth experience. You could have lost a baby, you could have had a miscarriage, you could have had an abortion. So it's usually like a one-off event, something really big that happens in your life, and you feel like it has caused a wound, a deep core wound, and has in some way, shape or form changed you in that experience and in that moment. On the other hand, with complex post-traumatic stress disorder, you can experience long-term abuse, child abuse, ongoing domestic violence, kidnapping, betrayal, ongoing bullying, abandonment and neglect at a very serious level, constantly and consistently throughout your relationships and throughout your lifetime. And just anywhere where you felt like you were subjected to the same types of trauma or different types of trauma even over and over and over and over again, to the point where you were in a repeated cycle, a repeated pattern of dysfunction, of disorder, of stress, of your nervous system being out of alignment, of your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems, your right and left brain constantly being at odds, being in a war consciousness, being in separation consciousness in some form, constantly in fight, flight, or freeze mode, which is very heavily related to PTSD and CPTSD, when a person goes into needing to fight back and needing to defend themselves and needing to prove their point, or completely flight, which is running from the problem, forms of escapism, trying to mask the problem, trying to act like it's not happening, turning a blind eye, maybe running towards addictions, just any form of escapism. And then there's freeze, where you completely freeze up and you're just not knowing what to do, and that can happen in terms of when you're being raped or sexual assault, even when you're being scolded and screamed at, or physically, mentally, and emotionally abused in any way. You can go into a complete state of being frozen, and that can happen a lot in CPTSD, where if you are constantly subjected to a type of abuse or trauma, then anytime something that reminds you of that feeling, that brings up that trauma and that stress within you, you can completely just freeze and go into survival mode in that moment. And when you go into survival mode, your nervous system goes out of whack because you're no longer focusing on your breath. You're just kind of holding and constricting your breath. You're afraid. You're operating out of fear. And fear and love do not exist on the same vibration, fam. They're completely different wavelengths. Love is a very healing, one of the most healing vibrations to be in. And fear is one of the most disorderly vibrations to be in. It creates so much disease. It creates so much illness, sickness, ailments, and diseases within us because it is a very distorted wavelength to be on. And so in those moments, our nervous system, our blood circulation system, our lymphatic system, our immune system, all of it gets targeted, and all of it goes into complete overdrive, and it can create enormous amounts of discomfort and disease within the body. And so today we're going to be focusing on bringing through light codes that are going to help heal the core wounds, the core issues of the stress, the core areas that trauma has stemmed from. And obviously light language is going to bring through high vibrational frequencies to help you to clear those old energies out. But as you're clearing them out, you may experience them physically. You may experience them come up as sicknesses, illnesses, and different types of intolerances and allergies and different types of infections. You may experience it as a sickness that you may have healed, but it's resurfacing to help you to release that vibration and that old energy and any old junk DNA that's no longer serving you, to really get rid of that. So you will experience it in some shape or form in the physical reality, and if it doesn't manifest as a sickness, then it may manifest as a phantom version of the trauma that you've been through, so that you can deal with it differently this time. And in situations where you would usually freeze, it's a good idea for you to start practicing breath work and pranayama to help you to regulate your nervous system, to help you to bring balance and alignment into your right and left brains, into your right and left hemispheres, into your parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous systems. And Nadi Shodhanam, which is a yogic pranayama practice, is a really good one to look into for those of you who have noticed that you go into a freeze response and into survival mode. because it will help you in times of stress and trauma to remember to come back to your breath, to remember to just take a deep breath in and realign your state of being with balance, with peace, with calmness, so that you can address the situation in front of you with clarity, so that you can address the situation in front of you with full knowing and full presence, full awareness and consciousness. For those of you who go into fight mode, I would highly suggest to get it out in some physical practice. So you could go into jiu-jitsu, boxing, kickboxing, going to the gym, lifting some weights, going for a run, going for a bike ride, going for a swim, exerting that extra energy that is keeping you in this state of getting into this anger loop or defensiveness or defensive patterns, utilizing that masculine energy into other areas, putting it into actionary areas that are actually going to serve you to your highest good, putting it into practice into the areas of intentions that you may have, so things that you want to manifest or create in this physical reality, channeling that energy into those creative areas so that you can utilize it in a productive way. You can even journal about your feelings. You can write them down. You can go to therapy. You can talk to somebody about it. If you don't feel comfortable talking to somebody about it, I know one thing that I do is I call in all my guides and my team of light and my higher self, and I usually just press record on my phone when I'm going through those moments when I just need to get it out, when I need to get out any sort of anger or frustration or annoyance or any type of constrictive energy that I've been holding in. I press record and I just say out what I need to say out, and I let it all out, and then I usually listen to it at a later time where I'm in a much calmer vibration, in a much more aligned state of being, and then I can actually hear myself speak and listen for the cues and listen for the areas that need healing. And then I go back and I heal those through either light language or through physical practices, yogic practices, quantum healing, through fusion flow. I do something called fusion flow, which is a combination of yoga, dance, and strength training. And I find that really helpful for myself. And that's something that I feel like I will be sharing on the channel as time goes on, because I feel that those quantum and alchemical healing practices for the physical body and the breath and bringing everything together is very, very helpful and vital to our life force energy. And so you can do it in whichever way that you feel suits you. Those are the ways that I have found, but I would highly recommend researching about PTSD and CPTSD if you feel that you have any of these stress disorders, and looking into different types of therapies and different ways that you can heal them. Some people find Reiki really helpful. Some people find it really helpful to meditate and come into a state of presence, come into a state of being in the here and now, which is very helpful for those of you who go into fight, flight, and freeze response. And for those of you who go into flight mode and you tend to want to run or tend to want to escape, one of the greatest things that I have learned on my journey is to just sit with it. So when you feel that stress coming up, that anxiety coming up, and you just want to run, you just want to grab for the next thing that's going to help you to shove that emotion down and suppress it. You just want to grab that cigarette. You just want to grab that bottle of alcohol. You just want to grab those snacks and the ice cream that's going to help you to shove it all down. You just want to go out and go clubbing and forget about your pain. You want to, whatever it is, whatever your form of escapism is, whatever your form of running is, you don't want to deal with it. You would rather just act like it's not happening. You would rather turn a blind eye. You'd rather just go to sleep. I would suggest to, if you are in a safe environment and it's coming up just, specifically just within you, to just sit with it. Sit down. Again, come back to your breath. And this is a good time to practice, recording yourself, speak to yourself, or going to therapy and speaking to a counselor or a therapist or a psychiatrist or a psychologist, whatever you resonate with. Talking to a friend about it, a trusted friend, a trusted family member, somebody that you really feel like listens with compassion and kindness, with non-judgment. You could reach out to a healer, you could reach out to a coach, you could reach out for some spiritual guidance, you can reach out to myself, anything that you feel like resonates with you in that time. Rather than running from it, just be with it. And the more you can be with it within yourself and develop that strength and courage within yourself and develop your confidence and realign to your divine power and your divine strength and remember your worth and remember your divine deservability and remember your divine value, the more you cultivate that within yourself, then the more traumatic events or phantom events that show up in your physical reality, almost like a test to help you to overcome it and to challenge you to release the pattern of running, you're going to be able to be with it and deal with it in the moment. You're not going to run from the conflict. You're not going to run from, anywhere where you feel out of your comfort zone, anywhere where you feel conflicted, anywhere where you're afraid of controversy or facing up to the truth or speaking your truth. The more you can develop that relationship with yourself, write it out, speak it out, really deal with it in that moment and not run from it, the more you're going to be able to deal with it right then and there when it's happening in your reality without feeling the need to escape it or to turn a blind eye or to act like it's not happening. So there are many ways that you can deal with these post-traumatic stress disorders. And again, like I said, I would highly recommend for you to find what you feel like resonates with you. Do a bit of research on it, because the more informed you can get about these types of subjects and these types of topics where you feel like you actually do resonate with them and you do have some sort of a entanglement with them, the more informed you are, the more aware you are, the more knowledgeable you are, the more you can actually go out of your way to do your own research about it. Then you're getting out of your own way and you're learning more and you're becoming wiser and you're becoming stronger and you're empowering yourself with the knowledge and the tools and the resources and the understanding of it from a perspective that serves you best. And so therefore you can then deal with it in the way that serves you best, utilizing the tools and the resources that serve you best. Light language is a tool, it's a resource, it's there to assist you and to help you, but you still have to take a stance, you still have to step up in your reality, and you still have to be willing to help yourself. You have to be willing to take action, to show the universe and send out that frequency that, yes, universe, I'm ready to heal from this. I'm ready to overcome this obstacle. I'm ready to turn this challenge into an opportunity of greatness, of wellness, of high vibrations, of truth, of alignment, of integrity, of being at one with myself and no longer having to run, defend, or go into survival mode, but to thrive beyond where I have been, to go into places of myself that I have never seen, and to allow myself to live my dream. So whenever we experience PTSD and CPTSD, there are some symptoms that may show up that will help you to identify that, yes, there is some form of healing or a tool or a resource that is needed at that time for you to be able to overcome and for you to be able to bring yourself back into a state of balance and equilibrium. So some of the symptoms are, again, like I said, when you're running, you're avoiding it. So you're avoiding people, you're avoiding places, you're avoiding any thoughts that remind you of the trauma. You're acting like it doesn't exist, you're shoving it under the rug, and eventually it becomes like walking on eggshells where you're always feeling on edge. So that's another indication where you feel on edge. You become really easily irritated, you're easily frightened, you're living in a state of fear and survival. You have difficulty concentrating and focusing on things, you have difficulty sleeping, it can cause insomnia, and you may also find that when you are surrounded by the people or places or experiences that have caused that trauma within you, that you feel on edge, you feel a great sense of disease, you feel like your heart is racing, you're anxious, you're nervous, you're stressed, you're just not feeling good within yourself. It's not a good kind of anxiousness or nervousness that comes from being excited or elated. It's the type of anxiousness where you feel constricted and you feel like you're being boxed in, you're being caged in, like the walls are closing on you and you can't breathe. Another thing is when you're re-experiencing the trauma through memories, so intrusive memories, flashbacks, nightmares, You may even re-experience it by listening to a specific song or watching a movie and seeing something similar happening in the movie that happened to you, or being in a relationship with someone that reminds you of somebody who has abused you in the past. So just re-experiencing it through phantom versions of the trauma. And you can also identify the symptoms through changes in your mood. So having really big mood swings, changes in your thinking, feeling distant from other people, feeling disconnected from yourself, feeling disconnected from the world around you, having really overwhelming negative thought forms, negative emotions, negative ways of viewing yourself, and therefore negative ways of viewing the world. So these are some symptoms that may come up to help you to identify that you may have post-traumatic stress disorder, or you may have complex PTSD. And the quicker you can identify this, the quicker you can get down to healing it and bringing it into a space of feeling safe and secure within your own vessel, and feeling your light and your power emerging and radiating from within you and shielding and protecting you at all times. Understanding it as an experience, understanding it as a learning, and understanding it as something that was there to teach you your own ability to heal, your own power of creation, your own source of creation, and to help you to tap back into yourself, come back to yourself, and realign with the truth of who you are, which is spirit in physical form, the most powerful, most radiant light and love of all. It is so important to come back to this inner knowing, because PTSD and CPTSD can have really long-term effects on our mental health, our physical health and well-being, and our emotional health and well-being, which can cause long-term difficulties and issues in our relationships, in maintaining healthy relationships, in actually attracting healthy relationships. We can have difficulties in managing our emotions, and we can have really heightened senses of emotion and then completely drop down into despondency, so sort of like bipolar disorder, and strong feelings of shame and guilt, worthlessness, and feeling like you don't deserve to be happy, you don't deserve joy, feeling suicidal thoughts, experiencing suicidal thoughts and tendencies. And physical symptoms is big, like I mentioned in the beginning. So it can manifest as a dis-ease, it can manifest as a sickness, it can manifest through headaches, chest pain, stomach aches, intolerances, digestive issues, gut health issues, immune system disorders. It can manifest in so many different ways, shapes and forms, because that old dense energy has gone into the body and crystallized. It's like become like a rock in your body. It's become a block in your body. And so as we bring more light and healing into these spaces, as we bring more conscious awareness into these spaces, as we breathe, utilize the power of our breath and pranic energy, high vibrational source energy, and breathe that in into all those spaces that have formed into blockages, and bring the light into those spaces, we allow those dense, heavy energies to dissolve. We allow them to slowly dissipate and dissolve into the light, creating more space for healing, creating more space for love, creating more space for joy, creating space for you to experience life again and live again, creating space for you to want to be on this planet and experience this planet in physical form, because that is why you came here. You did not come here to escape this place. And many light workers and starseeds, in the beginning of your journey, you will feel like you don't belong on this planet. Sometimes you might feel alienated. Sometimes you might know that, yes, I'm a starseed, I'm not of this planet. I'm on this planet, but I'm not of this planet. But you will come into a state of acceptance where you won't want to leave. You won't want to escape this planet just because things get difficult from time to time, and just because there is contrast on this planet. You will see that contrast as a messenger, as a tool, as a learning experience, as a guide, as part of the guidance towards greater depths of expansion, greater depths of exploration, greater depths of coming into a state of your highest vibration while you are still here on this planet. You will begin to enjoy this planet, and you will begin to love life. You will start to see the beauty and the color and the magnetism in everything, the wonderful qualities of Mother Gaia, Mother Earth, how the water is so beautiful, pristine and clean, how the ocean is amazing, how the sky has different shades of blue, pink, purple, yellow, so many shades, how the grass is all different shades, how the trees and the flowers have so many different colors. You will begin to immerse yourself in the experience of life again once you release yourself from these traumas and allow yourself, give yourself permission to heal, give yourself permission to feel, give yourself permission to deal, and give yourself permission to be real. Now is the time, fam. Now is the time for us all to rise and shine and align with the divine. So find whatever treatment, whatever therapy feels comfortable for you. There are so many different ways to heal and so many different ways that you can deal with post-traumatic stress disorder. There are therapies specifically designed for post-traumatic stress disorder and CPTSD. There is eye movement desensitization and reprocessing, which is called EMDR. There are obviously medications out there. However, I always would recommend, and again, I'm not a doctor, I'm just here to help and here as a guide, to recommend going for natural resources, natural alternatives, drinking some herbal teas, taking some herbs rather than going for the chemically processed drugs that are out there and the medications that are out there that can suppress other areas of our mind-body-soul connection. And I would always recommend really doing your research before going and getting some kind of therapy that is going to work directly on your brain to block out what you've experienced. Because when you block it out, then you're no longer able to retrieve the information and the learning and the growth from whatever that experience was there to teach you. So I know that there are therapies that are out there that do block out those memories, but I think one of the greatest things we have and one of the greatest tools is to realize that yes, the body is formed up of memory. The body has memory from eons and eons and decades and generations that it carries. And if you can learn to utilize those memories and those emotions as a form of guidance to help you heal, as a form of helping you to liberate yourself, rather than allowing your brain and those memories to take over and your intellect to become your worst enemy, but utilizing it in the way that it has been designed to be utilized, and being conscious of it, being aware of it, and going in a direction that helps you to elevate every single time, helps you to get to the next level of your journey, then it can be a blessing. It can be a massive blessing. Everything on this planet is either a blessing or a detriment to us, depending on how we perceive it, how we look at it, how we allow ourselves to take those experiences, take those traumas, and we either go into a victim state or we become the victor. We either become a warrior about it, and we worry and stress ourselves to death, or we become a warrior and we embody the light, we embody the power. So choose, fam. It's a choice. You decide. And once you make that decision, then you command your reality in the direction of the decision you have made. If you're choosing to go in a positive way, on a positive path, then command your life to go in a positive direction. And watch. The second you take your power back in that way, you start to demand and command your reality to be the way that you want it to be. You start to design it the way that you want it to be. It will start working for you. Your words are powerful. Your thoughts are powerful. So start thinking that you are a healer. Start thinking that you are powerful. Start knowing that you are powerful. Start telling yourself you're going to utilize this power to your greatest benefit, so that you can be healthy. You're going to utilize this power to the benefit of all of humanity. You're going to utilize this divine presence and essence to bring well-being into your body, mind, and soul connection so that you can spread and share that well-being and happiness with others. Command happiness, command health, command peace, command balance and harmony, command unity and unification of all of your connection to all that exists. Command unification in all of your multidimensional aspects and become that. You have the power. You hold the key. So with that said, fam, I'm going to deliver this light language transmission. And I hope that this has been helpful for you. And again, do your own research wherever you can, whenever you can, about topics and subjects that you feel deeply connected to in some way. Because most often, the things that are the most relevant on your journey, the things that have come up and really hurt you the most, the things that have caused the most amount of trauma within you on your journey, have something to do with your greater purpose in life. And I am a living, breathing example of this, because the voice that you hear today, when I speak, when I sing, the voice that you hear today, I lost that voice for 15 years, fam. For 15 years due to a big traumatic event that happened in my life, due to post-traumatic stress disorder and CPTSD. That voice was dimmed, it was suppressed, it was repressed, it was oppressed, and it was shoved down, so far down that I didn't even know what I sounded like anymore. I didn't even know what I was supposed to sound like. So what you hear today has come from courage, determination, discipline, healing, belief, faith, trust, unwavering and almost ridiculous amounts of belief and faith in the universe and in myself and on this path. Had I not have chosen this path, I wouldn't be here with you today. I wouldn't be able to speak the way I speak today, and I would not be able to sing the way that I sing today, and I'm so grateful for that, fam. This is everything to me. Having my voice back is everything to me. Losing your gift, when you know you're gifted since you're born on this planet, when you know you have the gift, and then that gift gets taken away from you, you feel void of life. You feel void. It's like being void of air. It's like you can't breathe. And for a really long time in my life, I felt like I was suffocating in the depths of despair. And so today, for me to be here with you all, to share with you all, to help you, to share this loving, healing, high vibrational energy with you all, to be able to be in a state of overflow and connected to the divine in the way that I feel connected to Spirit, God, Source, Creator, and the oneness of all things. This is a blessing for me. This is an honor for me. This is a privilege for me to be able to hold this gift, to be able to be in alignment with this gift again, and to be able to receive, integrate, allow, acknowledge, appreciate, value this gift the way that I do now. So take me as the example. If I can do it, if I can get it back, if I can realign with my gift after having lost faith for so long, then you can do it too. We can all do it. If you have a gift, if you have a calling in life, if your purpose is tied to some form of wound or trauma that you have experienced, speak about it, fam. Write about it. Write that book. Write that blog. Start that channel. Start that podcast. Go out to those schools and speak to those children about the bullying that you experienced and how you overcame it. Go out there and share your gift. Share your musical talents. You love that sport? Play it. Put your all into it. Share it with others. Teach your little ones, your offspring, your nieces and nephews, the generations that are coming after you, how to do it. You don't have to be famous worldwide in order to create an impact. You just have to believe in yourself, and you will create an impact You will create a ripple effect. You will create a domino effect into every life that you touch. You will be a success because you are happy, because you are aligned to your passion and your purpose, because you are living, you are thriving, you are alive every single day. And there is no greater feeling than that. Your happiness, your truth, your authenticity, who you are, your gifts, your talents, your skills, the things that truly bring you to life, your passions, your purpose, your joy is your success. My intention for this transmission is that it brings you deep healing to any areas where you have experienced post-traumatic stress disorder and complex PTSD, where you have experienced trauma, fight or flight response, freeze response, anywhere where you have felt stress, disordered, disturbed, dysfunctional, distorted within yourself and within your energy fields, auric fields, electromagnetic fields, within your multidimensional aspects, within your physical vessel, all of those ailments that have come from this trauma and from this stress. Anywhere where you felt like you have to walk around on eggshells, you have to dim yourself, you have to dim your light, you have to suppress your gifts, you have to repress and oppress how you feel. Anywhere where you've stopped yourself, where you've held yourself back, where you caged yourself in. It is my deepest intention that healing is brought to all of these areas. And please set your own intention for this healing also. And open up to receive. Breathe in, spread your arms out to the universe. I receive this healing. I receive health and well-being. I receive peace, abundance, and prosperity. I receive optimism. I receive dynamism. I receive divine motivation, divine inspiration. I receive my passion and purpose. I am open to my greatest purpose. I am open to align with my soul's mission. I am open to the divine. I am open and receptive to all the universe has to give. I am open and receptive to my divine gifts and my divine blessings. I am worthy. I am deserving. I deserve great health and well-being. I deserve to be happy. I deserve this joy. I deserve the radiance and the vitality. I deserve to be excited about life, exuberant every day. I deserve to be free. I deserve to be me. Let's begin. Light language transmission for PTSD.
Unire tahana tato turyo to no su. Ihina rakara tata sara tatoshchuro tato. Hirya tano nuro tuko. Rotate sira tahanara.
Forgive yourself and all those
Retashchuro tutu nuro vonu dirite tarata.
who have been related to this trauma in any which way.
Nityarata katas chiratato. Unya.
You deserve to be free.
Nyaharetata ketesyo. Ungyuratato konchitaratata kochukuriti tyaratato nyaratates charatata. Anihiniratata naso nuryatata. Haryakata sonyu. Ratata.
Give gratitude
Ratata sinyaratata tochututu.
for the experience
Srenanarata koshchuryatata.
as it has led you to the healing that is leading you to becoming your greatest version, embodying the light on all levels. Light language for CPTSD.
Iriata satara tutoria tenini shiratata. Undoro tutu sirina rakata shiratata kata. Hayanana setarata tenirira tatato. Purieni lilira tatara tati shinarana. Unyuru tutoshu.
Remember your spiritual nature. Remember the truth of what you really are. Detach from the pain. You are not your pain. You are not your past. You are not what happened to you. You are not your trauma. You are a beloved of the divine. God loves you. Creator loves you. Spirit source consciousness loves you. Mother Gaia loves you. We love you. You are infinitely loved. Remember who you are. You are loved. You are loving. You are lovable. You are free. Rebalancing your nervous system, bring you to a state of harmony, bliss, and alignment. Equalizing your right and left hemispheres, balancing your masculine and feminine energies so that they operate in union, in unison, in unity. Take a deep breath in. Breathing in this healing, receiving this healing, allowing this healing to wash over your entire body, being, physical vessel, electromagnetic field, energetic and auric fields, and all multidimensional aspects of yourself, bringing them into a complete state of harmony, balance, and unification. Thank you, thank you, thank you. It is done, it is done, it is done. And so it is. That's a powerful transmission, fam. Come back to that as and when you feel guided to, and please take breaks in between to give your body time to rest, relax, rejuvenate, and integrate these light codes. Treat yourself with respect, honor your body during this time, eat well, drink well, live well, rest well, be well. I love you all. Take care, stay blessed, stay high vibing, and I will connect with you shortly. Peace.